So we'll continue our discussion on fourth chapter, purpose. We'll just see what we have discussed. So here is a very important section of this fourth chapter. We have only two sections in this. One is glorification of the speaker and the hearer, and the second section is how did Vyasa Maharshi receive the mercy. Also, what is the Vyasa Maharshi is a doctor and is diagnosing the problem. How did he diagnose and why he gave this solution? We'll try to discuss this part today. So here, Vyasa Maharshi, he did one of the most important contribution of all the avatars. Other avatars, they came, they performed pastime, but Vyasa Maharshi, he contributed in terms of literature. That's why it is very special. And here we are seeing that one fine day is sitting at Badrikashram, and it's a very powerful place, and Saraswati river very small. And here it is said that Vivikta Eka Asni. So this is a very important word. Same thing, Vivikta Eka Asina. Same word is used for Vivikta Drak for Sukadeva Goswami also. When he was going through and some women are bathing, it did not make any difference for him. He was able to, like a small child, when he sees some uncle auntie moving, he's just small few months. For him, it does not make any difference who is coming, who is going. For him, just some object is moving. This is called Vivik Drishti. No indifference. And similarly but here, Vyasa Maharshi was, that means he's completely absorbed in something. That's why it is not making any difference. So here also, Vyasa Maharshi, he was in complete absorption. And then the next sloka, it is said that in this absorption, what is so Paravara Jna Sa Rishi Kalen Avyakta Ramhasa. So Yuga Dharma Vetikrama Praptam Bhuvi Yuge Yuge. Now he is diagnosing. This next 2-3 slokas, he diagnoses a problem. Now this concentration to him, what happened? So he could see the imperishable, invisible, unprecedented, and what do you call this? Time is passing. And time has a property. What is the property? It has a property to change everything very quickly. Like when Krishna tells, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. So Raga, Bhaya and Krodha. Raga means attachment. We are attached to certain things, but there is another force in this creation which takes away that attachment. And here also that force is time. Alosmi Lokakshir. That time is Krishna. And everything. And here, this time which Vyasa Maharshi is seeing, also it is said that Paravara Janaha means, Paravara Jnana means he knows past, present and future. And he has seen many times this yugas, they are changing. Under the influence of time, Yuga Dharma Vetikrama. People, they began to deviate from their duties. They are not able to perform. So we can see that despite so many things, now we are able to see directly. Vyasa Maharshi was seeing with his Vivikta Ekatma, with his transcendental vision. We are seeing now. And we can see how people are not able to perform any duties and so many things. Everybody violates their duties. Men, women, children. Children in America, they can call police to sue their parents also. That is not actually dharma. That is exactly opposite. But anything can happen. Everything is mixed up in Kali Yuga. Now he is seeing it this time. And not only once, he saw it many times happening. This Kali Yuga, like this situation, happened many times. Now, if we dig deeper, we may get plastics from previous Kali Yuga also. We may get Pepsi and Coca-Cola bottles also. We can get them from previous Kali Yugas. Now he's seeing the problem. This is very important. Next, what people who have sensitivity to the passage of time, they have ability to see, and because they understand that nothing is going to come good, and as they mentally concentrated, and now the this is very important verses next to two. He has some sense of understanding because the disease and qualification. Now here the qualification of Vyasdev is there. He is able to diagnose. He's a good doctor, and we'll see this next two shlokas. They were actually explaining about the disease. Bhautikānām ca bhāvānām. So here bhautikānām ca bhāvānām shakti haram haras cha tat kritam. So this Shakti Harasma, two things are happening. There is a loss of energy in all the objects of this world in Kali Yuga especially. So in Kali Yuga, first thing happens is that the things lose their energy. There is some vital energy, the prana, that is lost. The food loses the energy. Like people, if we go to some Western countries, they are very cold places and all. Even though they have all the items which are possible, food and all, but they don't have prana in it. Like we have mangoes in India, we nicely they put in some cold storage and send it to other countries. Now when they eat there, when you eat a fresh mango coming from the tree and you are eating, it has certain prana in it. But when you export and all, and what happens, they add some chemicals. Of course, while making also, some apples they come, for 3 months nothing happens to them. It means even bacteria also feels it is not edible for them. They will, after 3 months, they'll be qualified for me to eat. That means it's all synthetic, it's all plastic. That's why there is no some prana, there is no energy in that. Now there is some problem in the West. Same thing with water, with air, with the environment. They don't have some energy, the prana in that. Vitality is not there. Shakti is harati. It is all taken away. And now this is people in general, they are very lazy because they don't have that energy in that them, especially in spiritual realm. And it is said that there is some problem in the European countries. What is that is, the bodies, they bury the body, they don't burn. They are not getting decomposed. Not that because they are saintly people, they are in samadhi, it is not decomposed. No, because so much synthetic things are gone into the body, it became toxic. Even bacteria also feels, okay, let me wait for some time, I cannot eat it immediately. So this is the problem, because the prana is not there. So Vyasdev saw this first defect, that this is they're living a very artificially and all synthetic, they're losing that energy. And bhavanam is internally also the energy is lost. That means mind also lost the strength. Bhautikanam cha bhavanam, on physical level, on a mental level, both the places. This is the first diagnosis. Okay, he is seeing that these people, they don't have physical energy and mental energy. And ashtradhana, this is another diagnosis. Actually, based on this only, he gives a solution. We'll see how. Based on this faithlessness, he decides his solution. And we'll see what Narada Muni gives a solution in the 5th chapter, but this is a solution Vyasa Muni decided and he gave. The Shraddhanis people becomes unbelievers. They don't have faith, and especially in the age of Kali, people are this. And this never happened in previous ages. Even Ravana had faith. He was worshipping Lord Shiva. He also, Hiranyakashipu was speaking on science of soul. Like even Kamsa, he is having his Kali as his worshipable. Now Kali Yuga people, they don't have any faith. That is, and They had faith in Vedas. Faith means to have faith in Vedas. Now people don't have faith in Vedas. They have their own, they have faith in Google Veda only. That is the problem. Now another is next what he saw, Nisattva. Nisattva means they lack mode of, they are completely restless. That means this is absence of mode of goodness. Everything is permeated with this is lower gunas, tamoguna and rajoguna. There is no sattva only. Even the food, if we feel we are taking sattvic food, actually it is not sattvic, because it is with chemicals, it is with fertilizers and all these things. So even the food also is rajasic only. Even the milk for 3 months also it will remain like that. It will not get spoiled. That means bacteria also feels. No, it is not sattvic. I cannot take it immediately. It's all insecticides and all these things. Now, this is means also lack of determination. Sattva means mind is called sattva. There is sense of some purpose in mind. The mind became, but here mind begins to dissipate. Mind is very distracted, incapable of concentration. This is nisattva. This is the problem. And Srila Prabhupada writes also, mind jumps restlessly all the time, and happens for me. I have good for myself. Ashraddhadana means people don't believe, and and second is they don't have concentration. Based on these two things, he gives the diagnosis. He saw the people, the problem, they don't have energies, mentally or physically. Second is he saw that they don't have faith and they don't have any controlled mind. And also, next problem he says is Durmedha. Durmedha means they don't have proper intelligence. This is another problem. No memory actually. In one sense, intelligence is how much you have memory. That is how intelligence is counted. Because we see the shloka, dhyayato vishyan pumsa sangaseshu bijayate sanga sanjayate kama kama krodho bijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti vibhrama. Smriti vibhrama, smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho. Smriti and buddhi. Once your memory is lost, that means you cannot discriminate what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong. Once the memory is lost, then person is buddhinasha. So here, Durmedaka means they don't have, their memory is very less. That means no intelligence. Here, short memory, that means. And next word says Harishtaishu, means there is lifespan is very small. This is another problem with people in Kali Yuga. Very short-lived and very unlucky. Durbhagan. So this is another important word. Next one is Durbhagan. So Durbhaga means unlucky. What does lucky means? That is also we should see. Why Kali Yuga people are called unlucky? Anyway, the food is not there. That is all gone. And what is here is they cannot get association of saintly people. If a person gets association of saintly people, he becomes lucky. Luck means to get association of a saintly people. And another important thing here is about food. So when people in this age, we should be very careful with food, because food gives us energy. Food gives us that vitality, not just physical strength. We need spiritual strength, means we need that prana also in that. We may eat lot of food. If we does not have prana, you'll not get satisfaction. That is the reason people, in spite of eating everything, they don't feel satisfaction in the heart. The satisfaction in the heart is when we eat food with prana. If you everything you store in the fridge, deep fridge, and we keep it for months and months, which are brought from the supermarket and then just heat in the micro oven and take, it does not have prana. Even though it is tasty, it will not satisfy the heart. But if something has prana, it will satisfy the heart. That is the reason people remain unsatisfied only, instead of going to big hotels and all. Now these are the qualities he has listed. And he says that they're unlucky because they don't get saintly association. When you get saintly association, we become lucky. Prabhupada was asked by his disciple, what is our qualification? He said, you just came to me, that is the only your qualification. And you don't have any qualification, I made you qualified. Yes, Krishna Rupam.
Prabhuji, I wanted to understand that, for example, currently we eat all sattvic food, like we eat fresh leafy vegetables, or we are preparing bhakri and eating, and then we prepare rice and dal. So this has prana, or again, this also does not have prana, or if it is sprayed with something chemical, still it will not have prana. Because vegetables, we are trying to see that how we can get pest-free vegetables and fresh. So we don't eat anything even cooked. Now after coming into Krishna consciousness, we don't eat anything which is over and above 4 hours. So morning prasadam is cooked, even if it is left over, we immediately give it to our servant so that even she can utilize. So is this correct, or again there is some malnutrition in that also?
That is the only thing we can do. Because what happens is the procedure for which, because when they get the seeds for cultivation, it all comes from the processes, and they use fertilizers, they use chemicals for growing. That is the reason there is no much prana. But this is something we can do some little bit. And best thing is we are offering to Krishna.
Yeah.
Krishna will help us to get some prana in it.
Hmm.
Otherwise, as such, the fruits and all, na, they because they're coming from long distances. If you want to bring from long distance, what happens is you have to put chemicals in it, otherwise it won't stay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So fruits and other things which are coming from anything long distance means they have to put chemicals. While growing also, they have to make some manipulations in the growth, and then they have to make it stay for a long time. Otherwise, previously what used to happen is wherever you are there, there only you grow, and within that local area only they used to consume. Regional and seasonal only. You don't get from very very far. We can get fruits from all parts of the world. So it does not have much prana, but okay, some taste and other things. We offer it to Krishna and then we take prasadam. But as
So,
such, that is all passionate and ignorant only
hmm.
in one way.
So
Because
now I'm trying to understand that how Prabhupada is always saying, if you get one land, then just build one small house and cow and little land, little cultivate. That will, be, sufficient enough for a person. So this is I'm trying to connect to Prabhupada's,
yeah,
statement. I was never able to understand. I mean, like now after speaking and attending all these classes, Prabhuji, slowly understanding is because previously I used to think, oh, how will we live without electricity? How will we live without mobiles? How will we live without this? How? Because we've been raised in a city area, and adopting this village life is very will be difficult. But now I'm understanding that how to live a healthy life, then one land, a little land, one cow, and one house, small house, one room, one kitchen is sufficient enough for anybody to sustain in Krishna consciousness, bare minimum necessities. So I'm convinced now, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
that is your realizations, Mataji. Not everybody can get such realizations. You are
No, no,
fortunate.
but no, this is a realization, but still it's not been applied, Prabhuji. Like realization means we are trying to apply also, I feel. But still, if now also somebody saying, okay, shift to Gao or village, it's still very difficult to, this, that, oh, there are so many still attachments also are there of comfort. So, for example, in village, we sleep on the floor. We still don't have that attachment. Okay, if we go for yatras, we are able to sleep on floor because we know, okay, only 15 days, 20 days. But once you come back to your house, we still don't have this habit because from childhood, we are not sleeping on the floor. But whereas in village, everybody is sleeping on floor. They don't have only any concept of bed. Bed means tamoguna. They think that okay, every time lying on the, nowadays what is happening is like, at least not in my house, but I've seen people, They are eating on the bed, they are sleeping on the bed, and many activities they're doing only on their bed. That whole bed has become a tamoguna. Like watching TV also on bed, watching TV, eating also on bed only. Everything is on there. So that is why people are not able to come out of that, mode only of tamoguna. So this is difficulty, and I feel I'm trying to, get out even myself also, that try at least in summer season you should sleep on the floor. Not if not in winter or rainy, but at least summer season, try to sleep on the floor at least for practice.
It is for health also. It is good. Sleeping on the floor makes for in a long run you'll not have any back problems. Yeah, that is correct. We have to always see where all things we are having tamoguna effect, we can reduce them. Especially we have to work more on the food. Food aspect is most important. We should never eat from anybody who is not devotee. Anything that is outside, so much of packed food, we should avoid all the things because they are all tamoguna. Can even distillery water bottle, if you directly drink, it is tamoguna. You have to put in glass and drink. Of course, I am also not doing. But any cool drinks or any drinks that are stored, which comes from the market, all are tamoguna. Any, because that does not have prana. That's why when you want to drink, also you take it in a glass. When it comes in contact with air, again prana enters into it. In that way, you will be getting some sattva in that, or at least some prana in that, like that. So we have to be very careful in what we are eating. We should not eat from anybody and everybody. Previously, it was so strict. Brahmanas in Vedic culture, they never allowed anybody to see them eating also. They 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 just they don't want to get defiled. If anybody sees, that means it is contaminated. Yes, Kalpana.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I just wanted to add some comment on this, Prabhuji. Regarding the prana. I was just reflecting on that, how people are so addicted to so multivitamins and so much of supplements in their life. They just feel just by taking 3 months of supplements or their deficiency is gone, because they do not understand the prana is no more in that. It has been given in the form of chemical. How can they expect the energy comes from some chemical calcium or something which is devoid of the prana, and how can they reject the natural foods and they blindly believe on those vitamins, and after 3 months they check, oh my, everything is fine. They do not understand that much the influence of tamaguna, or I do not understand what, that people are so influenced with these medical facilities, and they really do not understand what has been prescribed in the Vedic injunctions. That's what people become more, they do not find the energy even in spite they take so much of supplements. But the person who are only on the natural food, they really find to be long life, they really have that natural strength. This was, I was just reflecting, Prabhuji, when you spoke about prana. We
Yeah,
just got his waste, kept it in the fridge.
yeah, that is true. Actually, maybe sometime I'll explain something on why Ayurveda and allopathy medicine. Maybe when topic comes, I'll take on that. Once I'll try to explain how important it is that we should not so much go for medicine, English medicine. We can pay, we need sometimes, but we need to some know that how Ayurveda is also very important. Maybe some other time we'll discuss because it has prana in it.
Bhakti Shastri, I'm being from a medical background. I'm from a homeopathic background. So when we did Bhakti Shastri at that time, Gaur Sundar Prabhu was explaining about that prana aspect. Then I realized why people do not have that strength. Even though my own family members so addicted to supplements that let me take this, let me take this. That's what I understood, how Vedic knowledge is so true, and it actually says the fact, and how medical field is clouded with so much of the things which are really, they do not go beyond, which is subtle. They just see what is gross and they just go behind it, and they just see this is actual cause and they keep treating that. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for this.
Thank you for sharing. now, now Vyasdev saw two problems here. We are seeing he is identifying that they are Ashraddha and Nisatvana. Because of these two things, he decides that okay, the solution. He thought okay, if they have to practice bhakti, bhakti means they should have shraddha. They need to have faith. That's what Vyasdev. Oh, Nardev Muni gives another solution. He said, "Are they don't have faith only. So what is the question of bhakti?" And then he saw that he wanted to really benefit them. That is Vyas Maharshi's, and he saw that they don't nisatvanam. They don't have any sattva also. That means to practice jnana, you need to have a very peaceful mind. If your mind should be very strong. But for that means you cannot take sannyas. Like today he gives a vows, tomorrow he will break it because his mind is not fixed. This sattva is not there, and faith is not there because Kali Yuga people. Then he said, how can they do bhakti? They cannot do jnana. Then he said, okay, let me give them some karma. Let them properly practice karma. Let them do the activities properly, and by doing that activity correctly, then they will develop some jnana. Then they will develop properly jnana. This is the solution which is he felt it is good. The conclusion made, diagnosed the problem is okay. Let us give them jnana because they can focus their mind on some activities. That is the reason he adds this chaturhotram. Chaturhotram karma shuddham. In that way, he will purify. If you see third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is also telling, okay, do yajna. Yajna is very important for anybody. We are also doing yajna. We are doing sankirtana yajna because that purifies us. And by that, the result of yajna is you attain jnana. For us, we will get transcendental knowledge. But normally also, they gain transcendental knowledge only in one way. They get the understanding that I am not the body spirit soul, and they get higher knowledge. That is the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is telling what are the benefit of that yajna and what are different types of yajna. Third, he tells you do yajna. Fourth, it explains what are different yajnas and the benefit of yajna. Fourth chapter. Now, same thing here. Vasudev is also telling, he divided for the sake of spreading. He is this yajna, that the purification for any man, that is very much important. Yajna is the fundamental principle of Vedic culture because it teaches people on a gross level to give up some of their priorities, and on a subtle level, Krishna says they gain knowledge in Bhagavad Gita. Two things: they give up their wrong priorities and they gain knowledge. And this is the treatment he felt maybe Kali Yuga people, this is good for them. If you want to cure, do yajna, and gradually your activities will gradually clear your mind and knowledge will appear, and then you will understand what is the purpose of life, which is not known to people of age of Kali. That's why he divided it 4 types of yajna. Here the yajna represents fire. Fire means what? Fire is which sanctifies, which cleans, and so this is what is the, and then next shloka he tells. So he saw that he mentions sacrifice, mentioned the Vedas, by which the people's occupation could be purified. And then he thought this is, then he divided into 4, and the 4 divisions of source of knowledge are made separately. That is 4 Vedas. And then Puranas are the 5th Vedas. So these are 2 important aspects. Now it is the 4 types of yajnas are actually Hota, Adharyu, Udgata, and Brahma. So these are the 4 aspects of yajna. That is what I heard. That means to make a sacrifice successful, there should be specialization of 4 priests. The priest of Rigveda, he is called Hota. He pours ghee into the fire. And the priest of Samaveda, he sings the hymns. And he is called Udgata. And the priest of Yajurveda, he performs all the things rightly. Where what should be there and everything. Everything strictly followed. And then Atharvaveda, he actually is called Brahman. He makes sure everything is done perfectly, and if some mistake is there, he immediately corrects. One is making arrangements, one is pouring ghee, one is chanting, one is making the this is the Udghata is the priest of the Samaveda, and Advaryu is the priest of Yajurveda, and Brahman is the priest of Atharvaveda, like that. So there's a four. And it is said that the Puranas are the fifth Vedas. Puranas, what they do, they make Vedas complete because they explain the meaning of Vedas. They explain the meaning, and always during the sacrifices, Puranas are read. This is compulsory. Even if anybody has seen any sacrifices, they'll see this is happening. This is what happened in the till 20th verse. And 21st verse, you have seen that after the Vedas were divided into 4 divisions, Payalarishi became, so he assigned different professors for different professors. He assigned them, and the teachings were further divided more and more. And there is also, we can see that there are some divisions. The distribution of these Vedas are further divided, and each of the sage made some branches, taught to his students different shakas. In the Vedas, there are different shakas, and the Vedas are different to shakas. And initially, there were 1130 shakas of Vedic knowledge, and which are, and then only maybe a dozen remain now. Most of them are lost. According to, and then now the Brahmanas also, they belong to different shakas. Very few people know also shaka they belong to, like that. And then we saw the next shloka, which tells about the Sumantu Muni Angira, who was very devotedly engaged, was interested with Atharvaveda, and my father Roma Arshana was interested with Puranas and historical records. Now here, for Suta Goswami, it is a hereditary. It came from his father only, this knowledge about Puranas. This is how it happened. And the next shloka says that we'll read from here. All these learned scholars in their turn and rendered their entrusted Vedas onto their many disciples, grand disciples, and great grand disciples, and thus the respective branches of the followers of Vedas came into being. So the original Veda is one only, and these are no branches of knowledge, either mundane or transcendental, which do not belong to the original text of the Vedas. They have simply been developed into different branches. They were originally rendered by great, respectful, and learned professors. In other words, the Vedic knowledge divided into different branches have been distributed all over the world by different disciplic sections. No one therefore can claim independent knowledge beyond the Vedas. Any knowledge means it should be within the Vedas only. Otherwise, that is all speculation. It is all temporary. It will not remain for a long time. That is very important for us to understand, that it is all very logically explained. It is not, if we don't understand the purpose, if we are not understanding, this is actually what happened when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Maybe before Gaur Purnima, we'll take some discussions on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his appearance, how internal reasons are connected to external reasons, and how it is mentioned in Bhagavatam by Karabhajan Muni Shlokas and all. This is a very interesting topic. It will be very helpful. Maybe we'll see before Gaur Purnima some sessions will devote to that. But here, this is very important. And the great sage Vyasadeva, who is very kind to the ignorant masses, edited the Vedas so they might be assimilated by less intelligent men. So they had a very nice purpose. He diagnosed it properly and he gave a proper recipe also. This is nicely given. Now, the Veda is one, and the reasons for its division in many parts are explained here with the seed of all knowledge. The Vedas is not a subject matter which can easily be understood by any ordinary man. I'm trying to do a revision only because we still have time. There, Vishnu Chakra Thakur, we are in the second chapter, so we can go. Of course, fifth chapter will take for us also a little time. There is a structure that no one should try to learn the Vedas who is not a qualified Brahman. There is this is not that what happens is they will only misuse. That is the problem. If we give knowledge to unqualified people, say if ISIS or Taliban are given some nuclear technology, they may say, okay, we'll pay money to some nuclear country and say, we'll give us this knowledge. That is very dangerous because they may misuse it. That is the problem. Not that they say we are paying money, we are giving sufficient money, whatever money you want, you give me. But no responsible person will give. Why? Because it is not question of money, it's a question of qualification. Similarly, Vedas are also, it is based on qualification, not that, okay, I am just, I also, it is not, you are discriminating on birth, it's not birth, it's qualification. Now people may say that, okay, these Brahmanas are dominating. No, unless you have, so Prabhupada is telling the same thing. A class of men who claim Brahmanical qualifications simply by their birthright, the family of Brahmanas, claim that the study of the Vedas is a monopoly of Brahmana caste only. Another section of the people take this as injustice to the members of other caste who do not happen to take birth in Brahmana family. Both of them are misguided. The Vedas are subjects which had to be explained even to Brahmaji by Supreme Lord. So it is not that anybody can read and understand. No, it needs explanation. And for that, you need to have a pure life. That is the most important thing. Kali Yuga, nobody can understand why this is not possible so easily because they don't have any sattvic life only. How can they understand? That's what Narada Muni is going to comment in next. Therefore, the subject matter is understood by a person with exceptional qualities of goodness. Persons who are in mode of passion and ignorance are unable to understand the subject matter of others. The ultimate goal of Vedic knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Now, this is a very important aspect. Now, here, what Vyasa Maharshi did, without he gave Mahabharata in the end. Without understanding Bhagavad Gita, we cannot understand other Vedic literature because Vedic Bhagavad Gita explains the essence of Vedic literature. Vedaisya sarve ahameva vedyo. The purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna. Once you understood Bhagavad Gita, then you read any other Vedas, then it is easy to understand. Okay, this Veda is purpose to understand Krishna. Now, Prabhupada is giving Ishopanishad. We know Ishopanishad is what? Okay, Ishopanishad is to understand uh, Krishna as a supreme personality of God. Oh, here in Kali Yuga, everybody is Dvijabantu. That there are no Brahmanas, no Kshatriya, no Vaishya, Prabhupada says. Because from the beginning of conception only, people are already wrong. No, they just, it is not, they did not follow any rules and regulations. Traina Shruti Gochara. Traina, because three Vedas are actually considered important. That's why Atharva Veda is not counted sometimes. Now, it is not understood like that. Max Muller tried to read studying the Vedas, but nothing came good out of it. He just remained atheist only. People cannot understand Vedas by reading on their own. It's not just by intellectual knowledge. You need to follow certain lifestyle. You are eating non-veg and other things. There's no question of spiritual life only. What is the question of understanding? So people say it's not discrimination. Some people, they try to understand and explain the meaning, but not possible. Only presently the qualification to read Vedas is first understand Bhagavad Gita. And then it is possible. Connection will be very, very easily understood. And now this is very important, that first what Vyasa Maharshi did, he gave karma so that they can restore faith. And then he thought, okay, they will come to the next level, they understand the purpose of life. And Bhagavad Gita is for that only. Bhagavad Gita is to give faith. Bhagavad Gita is to give Shraddha. And directly Krishna is, it is directly coming from Krishna. Now, even people who are completely atheistic, who began to believe in God, simply by reading Bhagavad Gita, they started believing God, even though they are atheistic. Especially with Prabhupada's commentary, it is becoming more easy. Role of Bhagavad Gita is actually, this is a cure or vices of Kali Yuga. That means they, from Ashraddha, they can gain Shraddha. And in the next, so this we have discussed. And 25th also same thing. Sri Shuddha Dijabandhunam Traina Shruti Gochara. As 3 Vedas, it's Traina means. And yeah, this is very important. So Mahabharata was compiled for this reason only, because Prabhupada says in the form of Bhagavad Gita spoken by Krishna, the less intelligent are more interested in stories than philosophy, and therefore the philosophy of the Vedas is included within the Mahabharata in the form of Bhagavad Gita spoken by Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna. Because this is the Bhagavad Gita essence of all Vedic knowledge. It is the first book of spiritual values, as the Upanishads are. This is what is explained. How it is important. This is diagnosis of course, the prescription of Vyasa Maharshi, we can say. We will take the next sloka also. But twice born, still his mind was not satisfied, although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people. This was actually, I thought why he is dissatisfied. Thought of talking on this last time, but our revision only went long. Maybe tomorrow we will discuss more on this. How it is, what exactly is the despondency of Vyas Maharshi, why he is not completely satisfied. Maybe we can do it tomorrow, as soon as we start. And one more question also I wanted to answer. With that also, we'll take. How to understand the, how to answer people. If we say that we are just saying because it is said in the Shastras, we want to follow. It is said in the Shastras, we are following. In the Shastra also there are so many logic that is given. That is very important. If you don't present in the logic, people say they are fanatic. They are just sentimental people. They are just saying, okay, it should not be like that. We need to know the logic of the Shastras. And if you present logically, 2 things happen. First, we will be, if you try to understand logically, we will also get some faith, proper faith. And also somebody who are sensible people, they also appreciate it. That is the point. Now, why we are trying to understand why Vyas Maharshi gave, why Vyas Maharshi wrote the Vedas. He is the Supreme Lord. Now he has his logic. He is telling because they don't have Shraddha, they don't have faith. That is the reason he is giving karma. He has certain logic in presenting the Vedas in this form. By understanding this, we also know, okay, he has some purpose in doing it. He said, okay, they don't have this thing, so let them do at least some activity. Now, what Narada Muni is going to do the next chapter? What is the solution Narada Muni is going to do? And after this, because he's a great sage, he has seen the truth and he's giving a solution. And he was not satisfied with the solution. That is the reason he becomes unhappy. So we will keep our discussion for tomorrow. We'll continue our discussion tomorrow. Today we just revision only 5 more minutes. Not even 5 minutes are there. And I don't want to, because it takes time, I don't want to stop in between. Maybe we'll just read the translation. Next two purports we'll read and keep it ready for tomorrow. So Vasudev was not satisfied within himself, although he had prepared literatures of Vedic value for the all-round welfare of general mass of people. It was expected that he would be satisfied by all such activities, but ultimately he was not satisfied. Thus the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect, because he knew the essence of religion, and he said to himself, the sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at heart. Perfection is never attained until one is satisfied at heart. The satisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter. Prabhupada gives some golden lines. Satisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter. And most of the people in Kali Yuga, they are unsatisfied. Now, what people do, they are actually working very hard in terms of gaining good education, for getting good money. Education is for money, and after you get money, then you want power also, control and everything. All these things people do to make materially progress only. They don't work anything for making any spiritual progress. If your money increases, power increases, then the size of car, size of mobile, size of house, and gadgets in the house, they keep on increasing without any. Yeah. Sukhaya karmani karoti. Yeah, that is true. So we can yes, bro. Yeah, we people, they are just interested in external. They are increasing externally more and more and more, without making any difference in internally. That's why they remain unsatisfied. This is what is Prabhupada is telling. They cannot get satisfaction of heart. No matter how much they make, they are trying. The mental level, they are trying to fulfill desires. Physical level, trying to satisfy the senses. But that is not going to make any change in people's life. This is so unfortunate. Of course, because of Prabhupada's message, at least we are theoretically understanding, and myself I can tell. But to apply and to go in the direction is what is success for all of us. And at least theoretically we know, and when we see people struggling like this, we understand this is not going to work. And no matter how much, yeah, mind also matters. Yes, mind, we want to fulfill the desires on a mental level, on a physical level. Yeah, thank you all very much. Tomorrow we'll continue. I wanted to take this topic little more detail, why he is unsatisfied, and of course fifth chapter also is very, very important. We have very few shlokas to complete this chapter. Maybe tomorrow we'll be able to complete, but we'll try to see that we'll be confidently, we can say that we understood fourth chapter. I'll try my best. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.